hanging out with me and having a good chat today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Of course. I've got some questions for you. I always love the way that you explain things in layman's terms to those of us who do not have law degrees. And you don't make me feel dumb when I ask you probably what might feel like dumb questions. So I'd love to hear like your spin on some things, especially questions
Sure.
that come up at the closing table. Now I know what the answer to this is. I want to know the way you say it. So what is a lien and how do you explain this to people at the closing table?
A lien means that money is owed. So it's sort of similar to handcuffs on real estate because it means that it needs to be taken care of before the property can be sold. So it's a legal claim against the property. Someone else, usually a creditor, that could be a credit card company, it could be someone who filed legal action, it could be a local jurisdiction for unpaid taxes, but it means that money is owed to another individual and that money has to be paid before someone is able to sell their property. So a mortgage would need to be repaid before you could sell a property. Judgment liens, if you get into a car accident or you don't pay a hospital bill, those amounts will need to be paid oftentimes before you can sell a property. Or mechanics liens, that means that a contractor has not been compensated for labor or materials and they've filed a claim against your particular property asking that they be compensated before the property transfer occurs.
That makes perfect sense. Sometimes my buyers at the table, while we're talking about this, and particularly for those who are escrowing, which as you and I know, most people do choose to escrow for their taxes and their insurance. How does that affect the escrow, if it does at all?
It doesn't. A lien would only attach it to a seller. So liens come up when sellers go to sell property and they owe money to third parties.
Kim, thank you so much for your time today. You are such an incredible resource, and I really appreciate you answering my questions today.
Thanks, Leah.
Thanks.